Good morning and welcome to EBEONADI, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 20th day of November 2024. Today is Wednesday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on EBEONADI, 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us. You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on The Guardian, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 6599. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Human Rights Writers Association, Lords Rivers governors probe into local council arson attacks. Pipeline professionals to address challenges at Confab. Lagos moves to tackle gender-based violence, HIV, AIDS with new policy document. Tompolo accuses Navy of aiding oil thieves. Ibazo tax Nigerians on entrepreneurship hard work. Unease calm in Abia communities over ambush killing of soldiers. Court orders the federal government to evacuate 270 Nigerians jailed in Ethiopia. Social challenges. Tinubu warns of unrest as Zulum decries internally displaced persons camp polygamy. G20. Tinubu endorses global alliance against hunger, poverty. CBN confirms fake SWIFT messages on foreign fund transfers. Focus on your job. Let Fubara be. Mbata tells Wike. Minimum wage. Ekiti. Labour sign agreement for 70,000 naira. Federal government advocates better basic education as Enugu orders experimental learning. Bandit drowns in Bauchi village after attack as troops arrest gun runner in Plateau. Inspector General of Police confirms arrest of gunman who killed 9 officers in Delta State. Food insecurity threatens Nigeria's stability future, says Minister. MPA seeks completion of Lagos-Abidjan Highway. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps to train personnel on protection of national assets infrastructure in Lagos. Senate. Vice President bid Oba farewell with glowing tributes. Experts canvass inclusive healthcare to promote resilience. 40 million naira mortgage scheme. FMBM denies partnership with HX Africa. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps arrest 3 suspects for vandalizing transformer in Jigawa. North Development Central to Nigeria's prosperity, says Tinubu. North Development Central to Nigeria's prosperity, says Tinubu. Lagos reaffirms commitment to end open defecation, improve sanitation. Falana underscores right to free education, flays errant state governments. Yola Disco begins distribution of free prepaid meters. Federal government revokes the directives relating to NYSC posting restrictions. Tompolo accuses Navy of aiding oil thieves. Ibazo tax Nigerians on entrepreneurship hard work. On East Cam in Abia communities over ambush, killing of soldiers. FRSC clamps down on unauthorized number plates. Ajokuta Steel Company to begin operations this year. Federal government warns of worsening arms proliferation as Boko Haram kills 20 soldiers in Borno. Institute decries rising cases of sexual violence against boys, men. Edo State women protest court violence, demand urgent action. Police investigate killing of Okada rider in Rivers State. Institute tax forensic fraud professionals on continuous learning. Medical sales rep alleges extortion as FRSC denies wrongdoing. MAWA seeks collaborative efforts against substance abuse and drug trafficking. Experts to offer housing solutions at Lagos event. Ondo to host Global Entrepreneurship Festival. Asaba Monarch raises alarm over police invasion of kingdom. Fubara pushes for urban renewal policy. Ekiti community to raise 500 million naira for takeoff of teaching hospital annex. Over 1,000 medical dental consultants have left Nigeria. I worked as Tinubu's aide for 6 months without pay, says Fela Durotoye. LEAP Africa rallies support for young innovators. Beyond limits, US consulate to empower tech startups. Kogi engages stakeholders over housing deficit. Croatia to hold a presidential vote on December 29th. Police arrest complaints of alleged adultery against Jigawa commissioner. Hold Arabi for missing 90 billion naira in Nakon. Group urges National Assembly. Bring development, not crisis, to Rivers. Lecturers tells Wike. Group urges federal government to release 2 billion naira allocated for family planning in 2024 budget. Ekiti Labour agree on 70,000 naira minimum wage. Parties disagree over police investigation into property deal. Niger Governor hails Jonathan on 67th birthday. Tompolo accuses Navy of aiding oil thieves. Nigerian judiciary corrupt, says Bayelsa Deputy Governor. Ibazo tax Nigerians on entrepreneurship, hard work with taking this. Federal government making effort to provide reliable, affordable power, says Adelabu. Ogun tax local government officials on development, dividends of democracy. Lagos releases policy document on gender-based violence, HIV, AIDS. Court remands teenager for allegedly defiling 2-year-old girl. Tinubu seeks Senate approval for 1.767 trillion naira external borrowing plan. Adventure. Adventure inaugurates system hauling plant in Kano, targets 300 jobs. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps arrests 4 vandals in Niger. Robinson holds Sanwo-Olu orders at Gamma 2024. Wema Bank rewards 131 customers with 11 million naira in 5 promo season 4. Top leaders and icons are set to be honored at NMIA Awards in Abuja. 18 million out of school children, 34 states dish UBE grants as unused funds surpass 135 billion naira. Senate to sanction ministries, departments, agencies for non-compliance with financial regulations. And that's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on EBEONADI 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to the leadership newspaper. Over 252,000 jobs creates through housing program Dangiwa. Over 252 jobs created through housing program Dangiwa. 4,449 police officers take promotion case to industrial court. Wike to pay 1.1 billion naira compensation over Kuje road expansion. Tertiary Education Trust Fund to introduce special intervention in medical simulation. Civil society organizations, experts kick against 1.767 trillion naira loan request. Chetima, senators pay tributes to the late Ifanyoba. Terrorists attack soldiers in Borno, many fear dead. Selective justice, protest, punishment, and privilege. Acting Chief of Army Staff investigates video of Major General Odili brutalizing motor, motorist. Seven Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps officers are missing after Boko Haram ambush in Niger. ICPC tracks a 610 billion naira projects in 22 states. Nigeria ranks seventh in number of students in US. Nigeria cannot thrive without prosperous North. President, federal government, police clash again over creation of a police pension board. Federal government, police clash again over creation of police pension board. Tompolo alleges complicity in oil theft as Navy defense self. Tinubu seeks Senate confirmation for INEC commissioners. Arewa Youth Group condemns Deji Adeyaju's attack on Wike. Man rejects Sharia court ruling in illicit affair case. Federal government Federal government, InfoQuest, sign contract for Calabar Ebonyi, Benue Abuja Highway, struggle for Palestine statehood as the defining liminal moment of our time. Leadership, tussle, many injured, properties worth millions looted. IEDs remain threats to national security, says Major General Laka. We are losing our husbands to cult killings. Edo women, PSC promotes AIG, array to DIG. Account for $20 billion refinery repairs, hot fuel importation. Civil society organizations tell federal government NMPCL cyber security key to Nigerian Air Force mission operational successes. CAS. MBTE. White Cloud sign a memorandum of understanding to bridge skills gap in welding technology. Agriculture gets 3.7% as Gombe. Governor presents a 320 billion naira budget. 40-year-old woman, four teenagers arrested for robbery in Bauchi. Taraba lawmaker denies interference in local government affairs. UBEC trains 112 local government areas education secretaries on professional development. State of emergency on education in Kano picking up with challenges. Gwandu Emirates commences 2024 annual horse racing cultural festival. Nutrition International SOSG holds vitamin A supplementation PESC meeting. Civil society organizations challenge NMPCL on 2 million daily oil output. We will reform justice sector. Fagbemi JOSTUM ranks 30 for international student enrollment. Wike approves 70,000 naira minimum wage for FCTA staff. Reps, others advocate equitable policy for energy transition. Establish garment industries to provide jobs. Textile union tax governors. Wike to pay 1.1 billion naira compensation over Kuje road expansion. Tertiary Education Trust Fund to introduce special intervention in medical simulation. Rivers, Masop, USA gives a condition for resumption of oil production. Diaspora Engagement, NIDCOM, Cuba, Embassy, collaborate on cultural exchanges. Diaspora Engagement, NIDCOM, Cuban Embassy, collaborate on cultural exchanges. Non-governmental organizations intensifies on welfare of widows, orphans, play poly, pioneer students, Lord Governor Sule. 4,449 police officers take promotion case to industrial court in Brazil. Tinubu backs global alliance against hunger. Consultants in government hospitals begin 7-day strike nationwide, demand sack of cancer share. Mawa charges elites to join crusade against drug abuse. Diabetes cost Nigeria $1.8 billion, 48,375 deaths in 1 year. Diabetes cost Nigeria $1.8 billion, 48,375 deaths in 1 year. Mrs. Amina Namadi donates delivery kits cash to 750 pregnant women. Out of school children, Mrs. Hadiza Namadi distributes books to 10,000 pupils. Media industry in a harsh environment. Gombe government distributes over 20,000 seedlings to livestock farmers to combat climate change, provide animal feed. Gombe governor presents a 320 billion naira budget proposal for 2025. 7 tips of food to avoid in cold weather. Mina residents jittery as urban crimes take root in metropolis. 95 million Nigerians lack access to sanitation services. UNICEF. Nigeria must rebuild the military core institutions to end insecurity. Adebayo. Devote Muslim replaces 80-year-old church building with a 400 capacity hall. Trump names Wall Street executive Howard Lutnick as Commerce Secretary pick. Federal government lifts a ban on posting core members to banks, oil company, others. ICPC tracks 610 billion Nigerian project in 22 states. ICPC tracks 610 billion naira projects in 22 states. 7 Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps officers are missing after terrorist attack in Kaduna. Acting Chief of Army Staff orders a probe into viral video of Army officer oddly brutalizing motorists in Abuja. Husband rejects court verdict absolving Jigawa Commissioner of Illicit Affairs with wife. Mawa charges elites to join crusade against drug abuse. We've taken this. CAF WCL Edo Queens fall 3-1 to TP Mazembe of DR Congo in semi-finals. Manhattan District Attorney proposes freezing Trump's criminal cases. Plateau Poly pioneer students Lord Nasarawa's Governor Sule. Ekiti government approves a 70,000 naira new minimum wage for workers. Governor Namadi recalls suspended commissioner cleared of illicit affairs with married woman. Victims demand dismissal of 2 army officers over assault. Court killings. Edo women cry out, say we are losing young husbands, brothers. Wema Bank rewards 131 customers with 11 million naira in 545 promo monthly draw. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Vanguard newspaper. Ondo Ajayi rejects results, says APC, INEC perpetrated criminality in guise of election. Army to investigate a brutalization of Nigerian by soldiers. Obi, consumption to production mantra not backed by any policy document. Okupe, Obi's consumption to production mantra not backed by any policy document. Okupe, experts warn as Tinubu seeks approval for $2.2 billion fresh internal borrowing, not development central to Nigeria's prosperity. Tinubu, not development central to Nigeria's prosperity. Tinubu. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Ondo Guba, SDP, Labour Party rejects election results. Ondo Guba election results reflects people's will. Foreign observer group. Court orders foreign ministry NIDCOM to return Nigerians imprisoned in Ethiopia. Delta government cracks down on unauthorized overseas travel by public servants. Edo Assembly approves 20 special advisors for Okpeboro. DSS releases Ladi Adeputu from custody. Ondo election. Ajayi rejects the results. Heads to court. 5 countries offering permanent residency pathways after study. 8 foods to avoid on an empty stomach. Why we have our best ideas in the shower. Army to investigate a brutalization of Nigerian by soldiers. Ukraine fires US supplied long-range missiles into Russia. Many injured in Ebonyi community power tussle. Many schools in Bayelsa underwater. Government shifts resumption date. DSS invites KB Vanguard correspondent over story published on assault on journalists. 7 officers missing in Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps neutralizes 50 Boko Haram elements. Cholera outbreak. Sokoto records 25 deaths, 15 hospitalized. Commissioner. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Negotiators seek to break COP29 impasse after G20 marching orders. Canada scraps a study permit pathway to permanent residency for foreign students. Canada scraps study permit pathway to permanent residency for foreign students. Catholic bishop laments bloodletting in Southeast, urges caution. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. ICPC tracks a 610 billion naira constituency projects in 22 states. Abia gears up for Aba Trade Fair plans for security, hospitality. ASEPA clears Isialangba not 20 years refuse. ASEPA clears Isialangba not 20-year refuse. Seplat Energy hosts PEARL's quiz in Imo, rewards academic excellence. Boko Haram kills 5 soldiers, burn military trucks in Brunu attack. Tinubu seeks confirmation of INEC, wreck 2 others. Oyu tips angry with me, says Tompolo. Igbo veterans express confidence in Bianca Ojukwu as a minister. Abia Rep empowers 2,000 constituents with vehicles, scholarships. Anambra traditionalists advocates a return to traditional worship. Lukorawa, Kebbi government visits victims, cautions against reprisal. My arrest by DSS attempt to silence opposition, Adebutu. Court orders repatriation of 270 Nigerians in Ethiopia prison. Committee of Vice Chancellors gets new leader. Rising malaria prevalence in Ogun, worrisome, minister. INEC promotes 1,731 staff. MBTE asks polytechnics to train more welders. Senator pledges accelerated development for Abia Central. Minimum wage, Ekiti, FCT approves a 70,000 naira. Sokoto gets template. Tinubu wants school Tinubu wants social investment law amended for transparency. Lagos state government vows to end open defecation. Anambra businessman petitions PSC alleges police derailing fraud case. Traditional rulers not afraid of governors, says Sultan. Lagos registers 100 businesses for people with disabilities. Ashimolowo offers 711 free surgeries in Ibadan outreach. Sanwo-Olu tax Yabatek on homegrown tech solutions. Harrow school officials visit Nigeria. APC, PDP governors disagree over oil revenue sharing. Sokoto records 1,160 cholera cases, 25 deaths. Youth Council unveils app to tackle insecurity, corruption in Anambra. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. Army orders approved into alleged brutality by soldiers. ICPC tracks 610 billion naira consultancy projects in 21 states. FCT. Nimet predicts 3-day dust haze, sunshine from Wednesday. North versus South. Showdown looms over Tinubu's tax bills as lawmakers return from recess. Wike denies being blocked from Aso Rock Villa over drunkenness. Nigeria's population highly dependent and family planning group. Nigeria's population highly dependent family planning group. Autumn sues Governor Alias Aid for defamation. Demands 1 billion naira damages. World Toilet Day. Ogun government criminalizes open defecation. Alleged exploitation. Benue Assembly summons local government chairmen, directors. Edo Governor Opebodo sacks observer, newspapers, workers. Osun government accuses police of attempt to murder transport management chairman Alowonle. FCT Wike approves 1.1 billion naira for structures affected by construction of highway. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us. The challenges of documenting memories in the 21st century is gone. When you have Ebona at the 103.5 FM, here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, or fala, etc. Approach Ebona at the 103.5 FM Ogidi today to document your event. Ebona, the 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and social media, video and photo coverages feature on magazines, photo books and others, news coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 08065796599 or you visit Ebona the 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Ogunike Boys inside the Ohin Residency Hotel Ogidi. Ogidi Kwenu, Ndogidi Kwenu. Adogidi Beauty Show is here again. Adogidi 2024. Now, I'm a keep as well.
Ijawele, are you up to 18 and above? Register now and win up to 1 million naira. Ebonwa Mulunogidi land or Wadiana. Come and represent your heritage where beauty, brain, and culture blends, empowering the women, enhancing excellence, beauty with a purpose, supporting education, and securing a future. For forms and inquiries, please call or WhatsApp 080-6329-0766 or 090-13566-263. Social media platforms at Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook at Adogidi Beauty Pageant. Forms are available at all residency hotels nationwide. And the deadline for the registration is on the 10th of December 2024. Adogidi Beauty Pageant Show. Don't miss out. Arise. Kunye.
EBEONADI 103.5 FM. Napapoa Production. Police for vigilante. Now my business is mine now. When I will tell you DJ radio drama, there we go. Akụkọ ihe ejije radio drama Eriko ga na-abịara gị every Monday 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday 3 o'clock p.m. na EBEONADI 103.5 FM.
Amara mi le wa di amu. Ko ma kuna ga do da ba ko na ni ko na ai. Nke ka ku ke bona ala ma wu kuna ya ma wu le.
Ekwekwala ka akọ ndị nke a akọwa.
Residency Hotels Leofin Ogidi. Ogidi's #1 place for all type of events. Burunia they were from corporate to social gathering or any type of parties, even end of year parties on the club. We have air-conditioned hall and outdoor space of a very good capacity. When Nebiano come, let us celebrate your event in style. Residency Hotel Leofin Ogidi. If you are somebody with a taste, one Emmanuel back in it. I want delicious meals, drinks and spirits brewed in different parts of the world. For booking, call 081 45 67 8901. One more. Come, let's make your event come through the way it's dream or your plan of why. Residency Hotels Leofino Gidi or Gidi's best place for premium events. Ask Kona Namagwarabe, Mwakoziano Haki.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at EBEONADI 103.5 FM with Martin Ifeanyi Ikisi every Monday 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to EBEONADI 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date. You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on EBEONADI 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 We are on to the Nation newspaper. Shetima joins senators to pay Ifeanyi final tribute. 2025 MTEF Social Investment Program Agency Bill transmitted. Tantita Security alleges sabotage in fight against crude oil theft. ICPC tracks 610 billion naira constituency projects in 21 states. FCT. Southwest National Union of Road Transport Workers leaders accuses of fueling crisis. Edo Assembly okays 20 special advisors for Opeboro. World Toilet Day. TNJF's reports slams prevalent open defecation. Southwest leaders to National Union of Road Transport Workers, your biased stance is fueling our crisis. Osun government, police clash over park management arrest. Osun government, police clash over park managers arrest. Ekiti South APC chieftains endorse Oyebanji Afuye. APC will win more states in future, says party chieftain. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Ondo 2024, Ajayi heads for court to challenge Ayedatiwa's victory. More troubles for Adebutu as police rearrest him. Nigerians rank 7th among international students in US. IEDs pose serious threats to national security, says NCTC boss. Tinubu promises to prioritize North development for Nigeria's prosperity. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning, FCT workers to get arrears for 3 months. India group to promote cultural exchange, others in Nigeria. Finance leaders strategize on shaping future of fintech. Taraba blockchain giant to empower youths. Taraba blockchain giant to empower youths. Cowrie cards to be used for ferry operations. Rotary offers 70 free contract surgery. 100 people with disabilities firm gets free registration. Court bars faction from confab. Others access ARM upskills pupils in finance. Refineries repairs. Give a proper account. Support network hubs Mark 5. How my passion for football is driving social impact. Freedom Vibes 9.0 Fets Shoyinka at LABAF. Rolac partners CPN Lagos to end violence against children. Nimet positioned to climate-proof economy, says DG Anosike. Full list of 24 qualified countries for AFCON 2025. EFCC fires 2 staff over corrupt practices. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. Tinubu can't prosper unless every part of thrives. Tinubu, Nigeria can't prosper unless every part thrives. Nigeria's debt to World Bank grows to $17 billion. Mba, knowledge, not access, at the soul of any successful nation. Ibrahim Gambari, IMF World Bank policies have failed to transform Nigeria's economy. Military remains Nigeria's guardian of unity, democracy, asset. IBB, Abu Salam. Mufwang's delay of meeting on Ayu's replacement creating tension in PDP North Central caucus. Tinubu, Nigeria can't prosper unless every part thrives. Presidency to Obasanjo, you are not ideal leader to emulate. Election integrity, Obasanjo calls for new credible INEC leadership. Sanwo-Olu, export diversification, value addition, only ways to economic recovery. Articles camp, Biwala, demoted a new posting. And that's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 From this day newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation, to Nigerian Tribune newspapers. On the Nigerian Tribune newspapers this morning, navigating the challenges of clickbait in digital media. CBN cautions Nigerians against use of fake Swift messages. Group urges Ondo government to prioritize infrastructure, economic growth. Ekiti community to launch a 500 million naira development fund for health facility. Osun government reacts to police shooting of park management chairman, demands arrest. Soludo presents a 607 billion naira 2025 budget, pledges zero crime in Anambra. Ondo Students Association refutes corruption allegations. Ondo Students Association refutes corruption allegations. Tinubu seeks National Assembly approval to legalize a national social register. Two arrested for murder over witchcraft allegations in Bauchi. Nigerian Navy destroys over 23 illegal refinery sites in October crackdown. UBEC trains 774 local government education secretariats on effective school management. UBEC trains 774 local government education secretaries on effective school management. Police Service Commission appoints AIG Ali as DIG. Federal government unveils employment plans, hails textile union on labor education. That's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on EBEONADI 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08065796599. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. We now flip over to our WhatsApp portal. On our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Agunabo. He's joining us from Ofa, Aguluzibo. And he says, in Nigeria, every day we hear training of personnel, yet they are still killing and kidnapping. And we hear army killing terrorists and Boko Haram every day. Yet terrorists are everywhere. And we hear every day oil theft and destroyed illegal oil bunkering. Yet, every day and every time the news we always hear. Promoting Army General without combating any serious war. We are watching as things unfold. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Agonabo from Ofa Aguluzibo. On our SMS portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Comrade Manly Oduogo from Odumobosi, and he says, my people, the future of our country has been so mortgaged by continuous reliance on outsiders to develop our country for us. Not only are we chronically in debt to China and other countries, but we are bogged down mentally and spiritually. The habit of ingrained dependence lead us to mistrust our capacity to rule ourselves. Our mental energy atrophies. We continue to expect salvation to come from outside instead of taking direct responsibilities for our own lives and country. May God help us. Comrade Manly Oduago from Odumobosi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. This one is coming from Mayor Onyenjikoka, and he says, please, Labaja warn your men as we are not terrorists because I have seen that their formation is now for civilians and drivers who doesn't give them money. Sean corruption. Okay, Mayor Onyenjikoka, thank you so much for joining us this morning. But may the soul of the Chief of Defense Staff, Labaja, rest in peace. Now we have this message. It's coming from Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe, and he says, now Wike has shown his faith through drunkenness. The type of politicians that are assembled in this regime is like old motor and rotten palm seedlings. Our department now is okay. Our debt is now is higher than the Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. Now we have this message. This one is coming from Godwin from Umumbo, and he says, Tinubu can't prosper unless all tribes is in order. Let him sit up. Godwin from Umumbo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, on our WhatsApp portal, we have this message. This one is coming from Valentine and then from Umpo, and he says, I don't know if African leaders can come from another planet. And he says, I wish they will check what patriotism means in the dictionary. And he says, how can a particular set of people hijack government economy, the name of party members? And he says, in theory, we are in democracy, while practical in in tyranny. And he says, no real father will leave his family for anywhere without ensuring there is food in the family. Mr. Tinubu is just like father of Nigeria, but he doesn't care for citizens' welfare, whether they are hungry, suffering, or dying. Is how a good father does. Is that how a good father does? And he says, borrowing, insecurity, hyperinflation in one country, too bad. Valentine Edene from Mumbo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Also on our SMS portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Honorable Onyedika Osakwe, and he says, soldiers, police, and security agents are being ambushed, and he says, and killed on daily basis. And our leaders and presidents is busy touring, and the whole world, we the civilians are now under siege. The only tenable thing is Tinubu's regime is reckless, borrowing and squandering. This nation has gone comatose, and there is no way or any uh, pill that can cure it, as the people that cola is prepared for has no teeth. Okay, thank you so much for joining us again this morning, Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. Well, this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Airborne at the 103.5 FM once it's 8:20 this morning. We'll be back with Joy, Birthday Splash on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. So stick with Airborne at the until we meet again. I am Martin. Have a blessed day.
challenges of documenting memories in the 21st century is gone. When you have everyone at the 103.5 FM here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, or fala, etc. Approach everyone at the 103.5 FM Ogidi today to document your event. Everyone at the 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and social media, video and photo coverages feature on magazines, photo books and others, news coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 08065796599 or you visit Ebon at the 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Omunike Boys inside the Ofin Residency Hotel Ogidi.
That guy you need to good.
Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Napakowa production. My business. When I was telling you, AJ radio drama, there we go. AJ radio drama, Erico, Ghana Dialogue, every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. Broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Now, everyone at the 103.5 FM.
Yeah, but then there also, if you know by finish of the
Amara mi rewa di lamu. Koko kuna kado na ko na ni ko na. Ukeka ku ke bona na ma kuna ya mo le.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at EBEONADI 103.5 FM with Martin Epanjuku every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to EBEONADI 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date. Residency Hotels, Leofin Ogidi. Ogidi's #1 place for all type of events. Burunia they were from corporate to social gathering or any type of parties, even end of year parties on the club. We have air-conditioned hall, an outdoor space of a very good capacity. When Nebiano come, let us celebrate your event in style. Residency Hotel, Leofin Ogidi. If you are somebody with a taste, one man back in the I want delicious meals, drinks and spirits brewed in different parts of the world. For booking, call 081-4567-8901. One more. Come, let's make your event come through the way it's dream or your plan of why. Residency Hotels Leofino Gidi or Gidi's best place for premium events. Ask for Namagorado.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on EBEONADI FM, who will, as the happenings around us gets as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets.
I don't even be now.
In your community,
I better
Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the root of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanishu, in CSR number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on EBEONADI 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
In your face.
on Martin EBEONADI corner
24/7. 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. I hit the subscribe button right here.